All right. Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of great millstone, and peace and blessings to all you Wakim out there who pushing his word with truth and sincerity, and as well as all you believers out there who believe in on the gospel. And a couple of brothers from the Great Millstone Houston camp. I'm the brother Korah Abad, and as always, we got the beloved Taza Pa. And back the Wadi Hal Bashim Awashai, we back with another Thursday live, in which we bring out the news. And as well today, today is the ending off the Day of Atonement here in a couple hours. We started the Day of Atonement yesterday sundown, which is one of our high holy days when we afflict our souls. Fasting, praying to the Lord, for atonement of which Yahweh Shah was the ultimate atonement, but we still keep these things. One is a law and in honor of the Lord's sacrifice. But we got, not too much to touch on. As other times of pod, you said before the lesson that it may be the calm before the storm. Where it's not, the same news being regurgitated on these websites. So we got a few things to talk about. We'll hop into it. Other than that, El Tazapa, do you have anything? The floor is yours.
No, we can go get to it.
Okay, Con. Let's blow my screen. Okay, so and as we stated, looking through the news, they got the same, topics up in there. Um, you know, Joe Biden, or should I say Kamala Harris and Trump, the debate within the news. You also have, they trying to scare people with the immigrant situation as well. So that's kind of the same things. Really, the past month, I believe they really been having the same things regurgitated. One side had just posted an article, the other side posted, with just a couple extra words. So as the other Taza Pa said, this may be the calm before the storm. Well, we ain't hearing too much because it's about to, pop off. And Lord willing, we at that time. You see, but it's like I said, we got a few things we'll touch on. Just uh backing off topic we hit on the last week or two about free speech being shut off, not just in China, not just in the UK with the riots, and if you post anything on social media that you can go to jail for what you post on social media or how you may feel about the government, your opinions. Well, that's not just in the UK or China, but that's coming over here to America as well. And we are all already seen it, and it's been gradualism too. That even on these platforms, you got to follow their guidelines unless they go give you a strike. Follow their guidelines unless they gonna kick you off. So it's already in a way they have it to where they shutting off free speech on these platforms, but just because people can continue to post, they think it's okay. But it's coming to a time to where one, you ain't gonna be able to post what you want, and even what you do post is going to eventually have an effect on your social credit score. So when the time to Esau, he about to show that he's not a lamb, but he about to show he a dragon. We coming into a time of draconian like legislation being laid out to what the smallest offense it could be the death or jail. You see, but the main thing we know they want to shut off the truth. You got some advertising part?
No, I was saying you see more and more in the news where you you're seeing people arrested for their online activities. I just saw a headline today where it says a father of three was arrested for some uh based for some hateful comments that they considered to be hateful. Like I said, I just saw the headline. I don't know what he posted, but my point here being is you're seeing this more and more. So, you know, yeah, it's gonna come down to won't nobody be able to say anything real soon. This is how it starts off. Isolated incident over here, then another isolated incident somewhere else. And then next thing you know, you start to see mandates, you know. And as you mentioned, we already see these mandates in these terms and conditions when you first get on these social media sites. You got to vow, for lack of a better word, to follow their guidelines and accept their terms and conditions, which is a form of controlled speech or speech control. But yeah, now you getting ready to see people actually going to jail and even worse soon to come. So yeah, that was it.
Con. And I just typed it in, arrested over social media just on Google, and look how much stuff came up just from the past 3 to 2 days to the
Hmm.
within a week. You got 12-year-olds getting arrested for things they post about beef with students at school. You know, saying they threaten the school. It says, "I'll blow it up." 12-year-old arrested 3 days ago. 16-year-old arrested for social media threats. Uh, 2 men jailed for social media posts that stirred up far right violence. Broward
Yep.
schools arrested over threats. The UK arrest for social media posts. It says, "Can you get arrested for social media?" Video of arrest over Facebook comments predates British. Right, I'll read this. A video of a man being arrested allegedly over comments he posted on Facebook predates anti-immigration protests that erupted in Britain. So look, they've been arresting people not just for the immigrants, but what this man
Hmm.
said on the on Facebook. Now ain't that supposed to be a place you can express yourself? Social media, be you, so to speak. Let's
Right.
see. Hmm. It says arrest over social media posts trigger free speech fears in the UK. And look, whatever go on in the UK is coming here to America. So we can expect these things. Matter of fact, I get this article real quick and we'll hop into it.
Let
So
me
this was put out yesterday.
let me bring this out for you get
Con, you
into
got
it.
it.
So this is Isaiah chapter 29, verse 21. It says that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught. So the elite, right? These Edomite, the ruling class, the elite, this is all their workings, their doing. And what they're doing is making men offenders for a word, mainly the truth. If you speak the truth, you got a target on your back. And, we can go back. They deplatformed, well, YouTube deplatformed Alex Jones. They deplatformed Mike, the health ranger. A lot of people been shut out from YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, the name in itself, it said you too. It's supposed to be, you know, a space for me to express myself. It's supposed to be my two, but it's actually, J00
Mm-hmm.
is what it actually is. And if you say anything that runs afoul of the narrative that they're pushing or speak against the conversations that they want you to be having, then again, you get a target on your back. And they may give you a strike. They may just all out deplatform you, depending on how big you are. But we're in that time. And again, Isaiah 29:21, it says that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate. That's us. That's the men of the Lord. We're the ones reproving in the gate. All right. Telling you what thus said the Lord. All right. And it's the most high's reproof. We're just the ones that's bringing it. But the whole world, they don't, nobody wants to be corrected. No one wants to be reproved in these days, the day of the 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 era of pride, you know. But yeah, ultimately, this is all geared toward the men of the Lord. So it says that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught, you know. And so you're gonna see these great atrocities come into play because even going into Revelation chapter 13, you know, you're gonna see that fulfilled around the 11th verse when it speak about the beast coming up out of the earth, having two horns like a lamb, but he spake as a dragon, you know, and that's going into these unjust laws and legislations that they're getting ready to bring down the pike. All right, the draconian laws that are inhumane and unjust, like not being able to speak truth. So yeah, these the times we're coming into is getting very serious. But yeah, what you got, brother?
Con, I was because I'm seeing in this Kamala Harris article how she gonna use the DOJ, and I remember this dude Neil McCoy, 2 weeks ago or a week ago we played him on a Thursday
Yeah,
live,
yeah, I remember. Con.
and what he gonna say is that the crackdown that's coming on these social media influencers speaking against the government is coming from the DOJ. And remember this, she said this a while back, and they actually doing it. They're doing it already. Which shows a lot of what these politicians be saying as if this is what they want to do. No, it's already in place. They're just saying that as if this one of their policies. You know, vote for me and we gonna do this. No, it's already in play. They just need somebody to put into the people wills. So when they do get passed, the people go think, oh, we already knew about that. Yep, so she did it. That's what that is, Isaiah 10. Everything is going on. Esau already got these plans written into laws. Now we just plan them out. But I read this article real quick.
Mm.
It's from Natural News. Now this was put out yesterday, September 11th. It says flashback. Kamala Harris vows to use the DOJ or the Department of Justice to arrest people exercising free speech. Now I'm gonna say this too, because people say, "Well, that's only if she get into office." The thing is, we played Klaus Schwab a while back. It ain't about if she get into office or Trump get into office. These things are still coming. Trump got these people thinking he just such a rebel, that he just fighting against the deep state and the elites. No, he with them. It's all a game. Who no matter who in office, this the way it's gonna go. Free speech gonna be taken away. Klaus Schwab said we don't need no elections. The plan's still gonna go forward. Just want to say that because in case people say, well, that's only if she get in the office. No, it's regardless.
Hmm.
And you know why? It's prophecy. That's why. It says Daily Mail political reporter Charlie Spearing has unearthed a speech of Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris vowing to have the Department of Justice move against misinformation and hate on social media platforms. You know how usually people think social media, I mean, like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter is only social media. Guess what social media too? If my computer hurry up, right here. I typed in, is YouTube a social media platform? Yes, YouTube is considered a social media platform. So when you say stuff like social media and putting all, which they ain't just talking about Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or MySpace. No, it's things where people put information, Brighteon, Rumble, YouTube. In other words, everywhere the prophets post videos to edify the elect at or to edify the sheep at, that's what they talking about taking down.
Hmm.
They just making it seem like people talking about Harris and Trump and Russia buying people to say stuff. No, they truly want to come after the prophets. Just want to show YouTube is a social media platform.
Definitely. Right. And the real the real target at the end of the day is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for them, it's not personal; it's business. They need the rulers, the powers that be. They need darkness. All right, truth brings the light. All right, being the vampires that they are, they can't stand against the light of day. in the form of this truth. So yeah, they gonna start silencing the voices that speak against them. Well, you got it.
I read this real quick. Revelation 12 and 17. And the dragon, which is, Esau Edom, by way of his system, and the dragon was wroth with the woman, and that woman being Israel. It says, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of the Most High, and it's the point I want, and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai Mashiach. That's the ones who Esau want to come after. That's who the dragon go try to make war against, those who keep the commandments, and mainly those who have the truth. We got this testimony, man. Because as much as we speak this word, is bringing down his society. And that's why you want to deplatform brothers and other people that's not in the truth, random people, just to get at us.
Right. That's Esau. That's how he do it. Just like that plane that fell. I forget Brazil or wherever. It was pretty much 8 people were the targets, but they'll kill everybody on the plane just to cover up the fact that they wanted 8 people dead, so that you don't wise up to what's really going on. And so, in the same likeness with this, they'll go after everybody else, you know, just to cover up the fact that all along they really want to silence the prophets, you know, and it begins with us, but anybody that's speaking truth. You had something else?
I was gonna read. You got something?
Okay, go ahead.
Kind. Back in the article. Now check this out. When this was during a 2019 speech at the NAACP Freedom Dinner in Detroit, Harris promised that if given the power, now this in 2019. What you mean if given the power? You already had thoughts of being a president? It says
Mm-hmm.
that if given the power, she would hold social media companies responsible for spreading what she termed misinformation using what? Using the DOJ as a key tool. I'm gonna play this quick video from this dude Neil McCoy real quick, because she said this in 2019 how she was gonna use the DOJ to silence people. Let's see what. Now he dropped this video 7 days ago.
Ukraine. I mean, some of the stuff is somewhat laughable. They're saying that without this misinformation and propaganda campaign, that US voters would be heavily behind sending all of this aid. No, I don't think it would make a difference, in all honesty. So there has been this massive, massive crackdown then on media overnight. I mean, this
See, listen, a massive crackdown on media overnight. Let's see by who. Because in 2019, Kamala Harris said she gonna do this by using the DOJ. Now again, it ain't just because she said it, just showing it's already in the plans, man.
looks like it's going to be a real big one. Difference, in all honesty. So there has been this massive, massive crackdown then on media overnight. I mean, this looks like it's going to be a real big one. So something to keep our eyes on. But this gets even deeper because the DOJ has now accused a number of conservative influencers. This includes Tim Pool, Benny.
Who accused them? The DOJ. This was said they was gonna do this in 2019. They doing it. Now they're going after conservative people, so-called, Trump supporters and people speaking against the regime that's now in office in the government. But we say way more worse things than them.
Benny Johnson, as well as loads and loads of other influencers of working with Tenet Media, which allegedly received $10 million.
I mean, we ain't gonna play it. We played it last week. I just want to get how he said the DOJ is heading all this. Going back to the article, it says during a 2019 speech at the NAACP Freedom Dinner in Detroit, Harris promised that if given the power, she would hold social media companies responsible for spreading what she termed misinformation using the DOJ, the Department of Justice, as a key tool. Let's go to what she's gonna say.
And will put the Department of Justice of the United States back in the business of justice. We will double the Civil Rights Division and direct law enforcement to counter this extremism. We will hold social media platforms accountable for the hate infiltrating their platforms because they have a responsibility to help fight against this threat to our democracy. And if you profit off of hate, if you act as a megaphone for misinformation or cyber warfare, if you don't police your platforms, we are going to hold you accountable as a community.
See that?
And
It's already
Yeah,
in the
was that
works.
Jay
You
Rockefeller
want
who
to speak on
said,
it, Elder Tazapah? You got something?
yeah, didn't Jay Rockefeller say we should have never uh, basically give the people the internet?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I'm going to go here to Amos chapter 8 and 11. It says, behold, the days come, said the Lord power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. All right. And that's the main issue. Now, the, the words of hearing the words of the Lord, which is truth, again, that goes against everything that they stand for, because their whole job is to deceive. You know, Revelation 20. And just thinking back to the shutdown and all of that, you know, going to their viewpoint, they didn't have the success that they wanted because of the prophets, the whistleblowers, the doctors, the scientists that came out. This is what they call disinformation, and what she's calling disinformation, she's actually referring to the truth,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And we always said that, you know, that first shutdown was a beta test. So they've learned, they gathered data, and they've learned from that first shutdown. You heard from Bill Gates and others that there will be another Pandeezy. So wouldn't it make sense for them to get ahead of it and just shut down, or at least heavily police social media, you know, to keep them voices of opposition at bay or quiet. Now, here in Revelation chapter 20, yeah, and verse 8. Well, I started verse 7. Revelation chapter 20, verse 7. And when 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. That 1,000 years is in reference to the Byzantine Empire, or the Dark Ages, if you will, when this so-called white man, the devil, when he was not in power, when he had no power or control, he was in prison, he was in captivity. But it says, and when 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. He would come out of his captivity, out of his bondage. And it says in verse 8, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, God and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. So his whole mission in all of this is to deceive the nations. So he can't just have people spewing truth all willy-nilly with no repercussions, or you know, no type of blowback. No, they got to do something about that. And what they're gonna do is heavily police this internet. That's going to be tied to when they get this system in place like they want it, regardless however long, you know, when they get this whole social credit and the MOTB set, then that's going to be a wrap for free speech. Because anything you say that go against the status quo of, the government that's in place, because there will be a one world government. So the government that's in place, whether you in China, Russia, America, Australia, Europe, wherever, yeah, they gonna hit your chip. Yeah, one thing you say, you might not eat that entire month.
Mm-hmm.
But this is where this shit is headed. You know, it's the shit that y'all voting for. You Mortmains, you 2/3 Israelites. This is what you're going to vote for. So she just told you right there in another interview. She said she want all the guns off the street. So all this shit is coming. You know, whether you ready or not, whether you like it or not, it's coming down the pipe. So yeah, brother, you got it.
Okay. I just want to show this. This is what I was talking about earlier, the Tazapa. This is Biden.
Yeah.
Now he's supposed to be endorsing, helping, on a bandwagon as Kamala, but he put this on yesterday. Trump 2024. Biden, I believe, you know. But here go that quote you was looking for from Jay Rockefeller. It says the internet should have never existed. It's a threat to national security.
Yeah, no, it's a threat to Edomite security.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because y'all not as superior as y'all been proclaiming to be. But yeah, brother.
Let's see. That's pretty much it. They got some other good stuff on here because Elon Musk been going back and forth with her because he, in other words, don't want X to be shut down. Pretty much, X is a porn site anyway. That's all it is anyway. It shouldn't even be up. Let me see. I'll read this. Right, I read this because look, even if they did it to Trump, you mentioned this often other times. It says Harris expressed her desire to see then President Donald Trump's Twitter account removed because of its negative impact on society. How much more the profits? It says in the bottom, she said, and the bottom line is that you can't say that you have one rule for Facebook. Now check this out. So they go put all social media platforms under one bubble. You can't say that you have one rule for Facebook and you have a different rule for Twitter. The same rule has to apply, which is that there has to be responsibility that is placed on these social media sites to understand their power. But they talking about it being taken down, so we'll see where it goes. Because again, whether it's her or Trump, these things are gonna happen regardless, because it's prophecy.
Right, that's right.
Oh, you had something else on that?
Nah, I'm good. That was it.
So we'll hop into the next segment, which is cannibalism is coming to America. Now I know we all seen the talks with Trump, how he said these Haitian immigrants are eating cats and dogs. Now, what that's neither here nor there. Whether they are eating cats and dogs or whether they're not eating cats and dogs, the thing is, these things will happen. It's coming. Because cats and dogs is small compared to a person being eaten. But we definitely in those times to where a great famine is coming to not just the world, but to the soils of America, to a place that never went hungry, to people that, and it's spiritual. We going into the Day of Atonement today.
Right.
Going without eating.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
The Lord, you want to say something?
Go ahead. No, you good.
I was about to say the Lord got us practicing afflicting our souls, going without the necessities of man. trusting in him. When all this happened, these people ain't gonna have no trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, or think about miracles and angels come and feed them, or birds come and feed them. What you think they're gonna do? They're gonna revolt after they run out in the store the first 2 days, if it get to 2 days, when the stores be empty. People go turn against each other, go from house to house, and once they realize it ain't nothing in these houses, if you a person and somebody hungry, you gonna get eaten, man. It's on the movies, it's in the Bible, it happened before. How much more at the end of the world when Americans gonna suffer? And it's people who eat breakfast, brunch, lunch, dinner. Oh, can't forget the snacks. I'm a snack man myself, but can't forget the snacks. At every event in America, what's the highlight? Food. You go to church, food at the end. You go to graduation, what you gonna do after? Eat. Even when somebody died, what people ready for at the end? To get some food. Graduation, food. Well, the law about to take food away from people, man. Then what you gonna do? You see? So I hop into it. It says, this from naturalnews.com put out yesterday again. It says Haitian immigrants demonstrate remarkable food survival skills. Americans take note. Now again, it's they said these people weren't eating no cats and dogs, but they got videos out there of citizens in Springfield, Ohio, complaining about their pets going missing. Seeing other times of power on the article we was looking at, you had a Haitian walking down the street with a bird in his hand. Well, I don't know if he looked like a Haitian, but the point is, if these things happen or not, it's coming to America.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's right.
So it
Coming
says, whatever you
to
think,
America.
right?
Yeah,
What it
it's
was
coming. Yeah.
Apollo Creed, huh?
But like oh yeah, they were playing that. Yeah. Coming. Yep. But yeah, they in Haiti in Haiti shit, they been lucky. They been, dealing with famine and starvation. You know, we was doing stories years ago about them eating mud cakes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, yeah, they're gonna be resilient. In desperate times. But yeah, that I'm sure they also. I'm sure if you probably go to Haiti right now, you won't see too many strays running around, stray cats or stray dogs. So yeah, I mean, shit, that ain't hard to believe. You know what I'm saying? Although they getting enough money to shit buy a grocery store. All of these immigrants, but going back to just how you said, you know, whether it is or whether they are or whether they are not right now, that's regardless because hey, it's coming. We know cannibalism is coming. Cannibalism is going to be the order of the day,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm talking real soon because the elites want chaos here. They want just like the symbol of the phoenix. If you remember that Batman, the Batman Begins, Ra's al Ghul, he his philosophy was to save Gotham by destroying it. And the way he wanted to destroy it was for the people to tear the city apart. He wanted complete chaos in the streets of Gotham. And then they would come through after everybody was through murdering and pillaging. They would come through and establish order after society has completely collapsed. But that's what the elite want here in America. That's why nothing you see, if you have a logical frame of mind, nothing that you see taking place in America is making sense. You know, there's people here struggling, and they just letting people pour in across the border. And not only that, which makes it hard enough, but then they giving them 15,000, 20,000 a month. Whereas they wouldn't give you, a United States citizen, 20 grand a year just to help you to make it. Some of these illegal immigrants come over here, they getting broke off 20, 15, 20 G's a month. You know, and that's because they want you mad. They want you mad. They got all these criminals coming over here, they setting up shop, and they want it to be chaos here in America. You know, they want the people to go at each other's throat, and then they'll come in and bring the they'll bring the normalcy. You know, y'all screaming about you want to return to normal. Yeah, well, when they bring normalcy, you ain't gonna like it. You know, so I'm gonna go here.
Man, I ain't know. So like, I don't know what happened. My whole stuff cut off.
Yeah, yeah, I saw it, but I
Kind,
don't
you got
know.
it though.
Yeah, Isaiah. This is Isaiah chapter 65, and I'm gonna start at verse 11. All right. So Isaiah chapter 65, verse 11. But ye are they that forsake the Lord, that forget my holy mountain, that prepare a table for that truth, and that furnish the drink offering unto that number. Therefore I will number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, ye did not answer. When I spake, ye did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. So this is the Lord speaking to the two-third Israelites, you know, because he's not calling to these heathen nations, he's calling to Israel. So in verse 13 it says, therefore thus said the Lord power, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. All right. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. All right. Because we're taking this time of grace to follow Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai and to get right, to be conformed to the image of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. We're not using this grace just as the Apostle Gabar did the video uh, with concerning the comment that somebody made that we don't have to keep the Day of Atonement. And that's the spirit that you read, Revelation 12. It said that, you know, the beast or the dragon. It said the dragon would be wroth with the woman and go out to make war with them that keep his commandments. It's not the day of keeping the Day of Atonement. It's not that a commandment. So the men of the Lord is going to be keeping not only the Day of Atonement, but all the rest of the high holy days.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that brings to mind Revelation 3 and 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience,
That's right.
I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation. All right. Well, this is going into this 13th verse, Isaiah 65 and 13. Therefore, thus said the Lord power, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Because when you had liberty and when you had grace, you chose to deny the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shai. You chose to follow the deception of plantation Christianity. Oh, the laws are done away with. We don't have to do this. We don't have to do that. Instead of doing what it says in the scripture and eating the whole scroll for yourself. And I ain't speaking to you women, I'm speaking to you men. We are supposed to eat the scroll for ourselves so that we won't fall into deception. We're supposed to be like the Bereans and question things, not just go because, something appeals to my flesh. Oh, yeah, that sounds good right there. You know, we ain't got to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. You should bet. No, you're supposed to get into this book and look things out, check things out for yourself, you know. So those, as you were mentioning, on these high holy days like today, the Yom Kippur, Day of Atonement, we afflict our souls, all right, in the hopes to be found a servant of the Lord. And again, this is what it says. Therefore, thus said the Lord power. Behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry, right? Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed, because you chose to do what you wanted to do instead of choosing to do what thus said the Lord. Those who do what thus said the Lord and keep the word of his patience will have the Most High's favor in return. That means he's going to make sure you don't starve. You might go hungry, but you ain't going to starve. He'll make sure you get, get your thirst quenched. And above all, he's going to make sure that, if it's set for you, you receive the salvation that's set for you. So, that just a little something on that. You got it, brother.
Con. I grab one precept. We could play that video. Real quick. This second Ezra chapter 16 and verse 18. It says, "The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death." Man, it says the beginning of sorrows. So just the start of sorrow is gonna bring great mourning. The beginning of famine gonna bring great death. It says the beginning of wars and the powers shall stand in fear. See, things go get out of hand to where even these elites who are engineering a famine, engineering bad weather, coming up with these ideas on chaos in the earth, auto ab KO. The Lord gonna take it to another level, just like he did with Pharaoh. Pharaoh was able to mimic, the things Aaron and Moses was doing for a time. But then it came a time to where the power that was shown was out of their reach. That's what we're about to see. The Lord about to show that he is the higher power. There's a reason we call him the most high. Because things will get out of hand to where even the powers, they little cause in the earth ain't gonna work no more. It says, "And the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils, and what shall I do when these evils come? Behold, famine." And that's what we're going to play this video on, because famine is coming. Although it seems far-fetched, because you got store stock with food, restaurants, fast food places on corners, grocery stores. You got gas stations in America on every block full with stuff. A famine is coming so bad you're going to eat your family members, man. It says, "Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for a minute." So these things are sent correction. You see, punishments from the Lord. You see, so we'll hop into this video. Well, I'm gonna read the article first. It's a super short read, but I'll play the video. Now, this is from nationalnews.com, put out yesterday as well from Mike Adams. Again, it says Haitian immigrants demonstrate remarkable food survival skills. Americans take note. It says, whatever you think about Springfield and the Haitian immigrant invasion, one thing is crystal clear. When famine hits hard, the Haitians know where to find food. Americans who are living on processed junk food from the grocery store will largely be clueless and will starve. The coming engineered food collapse and financial collapse will indeed see migrants invaders, demonstrating a much higher survival rate than typical Americans, as they truly possess more street survival skills. It says eating geese caught in a city park is also known as wild crafted meat. If things get extreme enough, you will see widespread cannibalism in America's collapsing cities. Yes, people will be eating people. After all, it's a food source, although insanely toxic, that's local, probably walking around down your street. Cannibals in America don't have to venture very far to find another meal. And you know, these people in America, all of them fat. Everybody fat in America. Where they gonna run to? See, where they gonna
Yeah.
run?
And
And you go, go ahead. You got it.
predisposed to they have a predisposed taste for human flesh, thanks to McDonald's and other fast food vendors.
Mm.
But yeah,
Man, that's cold. That's cool. It says, man, think about how bad it's gonna get though. You got people who eat all day, they get mad. Man, you got people who go to fast food restaurants, they order their food, and just because they gotta wait 6 minutes, 7 minutes, they coming through the fast food window. These
yeah,
are these type of people that's the law about to starve out. People who
yeah.
take pills all day in order to get by, right? Prescriptions and just fucking all out drug addicts. What's gonna happen to these people when all their prescription pills, they Percocets, they drink, all that's gone? What's gonna happen? Come on, man. I read this last part. It says, reminder that Deagle's predictions show 200 million Americans dying in the next 15 or so months. Right? It says, let's hope it doesn't happen, but it's quite clear the only thing necessary for the anti-human globalists to achieve that is to cut off the groceries. It says, and that is something Kamala Harris has already promised to do via price control. You see that? So let's go ahead and play this video, see what Mike got to say. Because again, cannibalism is coming to America. The scriptures say nothing new under the sun. If it happened back then when people was more spiritual, right, more in tune with what was going on the earth, if they was eating their children because they was hungry, how about a simple American, man? Play it back.
I don't hear anything. Is it playing?
Oh, you don't hear none?
No, I didn't know
Okay,
it
hold on.
started it yet.
Now hold on. I'm redo it. Salakia Akin. Salakia Taza Pa. All right, here we go. We should be good now. Hey, and Shalawam Tala Akim Akwath, who may be tuning in. Yahabashima Shabrakatham. Hey, Shalawam to the Elda Tazaria. Shalawam. But let me know if it's playing now. Let's see. All right, here we go.
All right, time for some hardcore truth about the Tren de Aragua invasion and takeover of sanctuary cities across America, as well as the Haitian invasion that's happening in Springfield, Ohio. And just a quick note, understand that the corporate media, who function as the enemies of America, they are treasonous actors. They deliberately lie and mislead in order to try to achieve their goals, which are the total takeover of America and the replacement of the American people with violent migrants, and then the total destruction of the United States of America as we know it. Ultimately, they want to take down the Bill of Rights and the Supreme Court, and they want to have a one-party state run by tyrants with absolute control over all speech. They want to ban the Second Amendment, and these are just steps on the way to achieving that. They have to bring in millions of migrants and then give them the right to vote in order to outvote the American people. They also have to vaccinate the American people with death jabs, sterilization shots, depopulation, bioweapons, so that the American people can no longer reproduce, they die off, and then they are replaced by the new migrants who are not vaccinated by and large, and their children are not required to be vaccinated to attend public school. So understand, the American people are being targeted with death weapons by their own government, their own media, their own doctors and hospitals and medical journals are targeting the people for extermination and then replacing them with these illegal violent migrants that are eating people's cats and eating the geese in the city park.
Now, if I can, say this, I just put an article in the chat. We ain't gonna go into it, but check that article out. Now, this people who in Springfield, now they complaining about what's going on, but we don't know exactly, so we ain't gonna speak on it, But again, whether these things are happening, whether these people going to take, Americans' pets and eat them, whatever is coming though. That's the point.
And
put that article in the chat.
Soon, what's coming next, which is what I wanted to get to here, is they're going to turn to cannibalism, and it won't be long before they start eating your children. This is not hyperbole. I've spoken with Michael Yon, who actually hunted cannibals. He talks about it openly. That's part of his history. And what happens in these third world societies is, as the system breaks down, the farms are shut down, which is part of the green philosophy, part of the Kamala Marxism/communism goals, is to shut down food infrastructure, farming, shut down combustion engines, essentially make mechanized farming illegal. You will have such famine, mass starvation across America, that the violent migrants will be eating your children. As sure as the sun rises, they will turn to cannibalism, because this is what is seen in third world societies as they turn to desperation over and over and over again. I know it's a subject that not a lot of people dare talk about. And of course, the corporate media pretends, oh, that would never happen. They're liars. They're the same people who said there's not an open border. Same people who said, oh, nobody's coming into America. Same people who said, oh, the government's not coming for your guns. Same people who said, oh, the government's not censoring your speech. Every single time it was a lie. And they're telling more lies now. And they're saying, oh, they're saying the Haitians aren't even eating people's cats. Of course they are. That's just the beginning. And when cannibalism goes into full effect across the sanctuary cities, the media is going to deny that too. And then you'll see stories popping up. Oh, a child missing, and then the bones were found over here in some migrant camp next to a barbecue pit, and it's going to be real. But the media is going to deny it. And of course, the bleeding heart liberals will say, oh, that can't be true. You're making it up, because they want to apologize their way into mass extermination. Liberals are people who would rather be polite than be alive. They don't want to offend anybody, so they'll just let themselves be, murdered with machetes by the invading migrants. And, they'll give up their homes, they'll give up their land, their cities, they'll give up their children in order to avoid appearing to be mean. So in defending politeness, they have surrendered their entire civilization. That's what liberals have done. They've done it in Europe. Europe is essentially done for. Western Europe, they're done. They will not defend their borders. They won't defend their culture. They won't defend the rule of law. They won't defend their own people at all. Mass replacements are underway in the UK, in France, in Germany, even in Spain. And it's happening in Austria, to some degree in Romania and other countries. So the question is, will this happen in America? Well, it has already begun. And by the way, the Tren de Aragua gangs are in Texas already. But I want to be clear, states like Texas will push back hard. Eventually, there will be defensive, government-sanctioned teams, armed teams, that will probably be handed bounties to hunt down and literally eliminate gang members. And they'll be paid like $5,000 per gang member that they can kill. Something like that. Because it's going to go Mad Max, okay? So in the Mad Max world...
And you seen that on that movie, well, I didn't watch it myself, but I know the Apostle Ramlab here mentioned it, but that movie Silver Water just came out. To where you're going to have these conservatives going around, and they're going to take it upon themselves to protect their America. And when they go around, they go ask, not saying in real life, but on a movie, they was asking, well, what kind of American are you then? What kind of American are you? And what he go explain real quick is that in red states, you're going to have these gung-ho Edomites trying to protect their America and go out and defend themselves against these immigrants. But in the blue states, the Democrats, where niggas at, he pretty much is saying how gang is going to take that over, and they just going to fight against each other, so on and so forth. But again, let me get this quick precept. If you don't mind, this 2nd Ezra 15, because what's going to drive that, man? Hard times going to drive everything that we are talking about. Real quick.
That's right.
And as you see, the header says the coming disasters. Now, this is and it's beautiful, because when you think about 2nd Ezra 15, the Lord, it started with him telling his prophets, go speak the prophecies to Israel. Now, in this chapter, the Lord pronounced judgment against the world, but he pinpointed America in here. Now, it ain't going to say America, but it says Egypt. how Egypt go get judged as before. We know that's Revelation 11 and 8 Egypt. So even in this chapter, the Lord is pinpointing America. Now I get to the point because as it go into it, that he was going to bring plagues upon these farmers. So they ain't even got nothing to grow right now to put into the stores, as we've been seeing them complaining. But I'll start right here since we're talking about food. This second Ezra 15 and 14 in the GNT. I start at 13. It says the farmers will mourn because their seed will fail to sprout, and their trees will be destroyed by blight, hail, and terrible storms. The world and the people in it are doomed. The war that will bring their destruction is very near. Nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations, and there will be great political turmoil, which we see in that, with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. So they ain't gonna worry about what's already set in place. This is the point. It says, and what else? And there will no longer be free access to the cities. Why? Not just lockdowns, but also you could have these new digital IDs they could try to come out with in order for you to get by in society. But it says there will no longer be free access to the cities. This is why, though. It says because the struggle for power will bring, come on, man, because the struggle for power will bring destruction, terror, and total confusion wherever people live. Driven by, so terror, destruction, and total confusion will be driven by what? Check this out. Driven by famine. That's the first one. That's the first one. Driven by famine and terrible suffering. And people will assault their neighbors and mercilessly plunder their possessions. So a lot of this stuff gonna happen is because one, it's gonna be a lot of suffering. People are already suffering, but without food too. You know they call food comfort food. At least when people suffering, if you got something to eat or drink, you all right. But without eating and drinking, no sleep, no pills, no none of that, these people gonna bug out. You see?
Yep,
You got something?
that's right. Yeah, I got something to go right with that. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 53. It says, and thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters. So that's cannibalism. All right. Right out the scripture. This is the Lord speaking. This is some of the curses that would befall us as Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans predominantly. But these are some of the curses that would befall us. All right. And the Most High said in Deuteronomy 28 and 53, and thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters, which the Lord thy power had given thee, in the siege and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee. And in Ezra, you would read about that straitness caused by famine and then social disorder. You know, straits are coming to this world, especially here in America. You know, but yeah, the point being is that yeah, cannibalism is coming back. This took place already in 70 AD. And then you can go back before 70 AD to the time of the Assyrians, in 2 Kings, the 6th chapter, around the 28th verse.
Yeah, I got that up if you wanted it.
And it's an account where these women made a deal to eat their son. So this has already happened. So what's to say it's not going to happen again? Now, we're coming into a time that the Lord described as a time like never before. So if they did it back then, and we coming into a time like never before, why wouldn't they do it in these times to come? So that's biblical. Cannibalism is biblical. I'm not saying it's righteous. I'm saying that This is a prophecy that's going to be fulfilled because there is no new thing under the sun. What had been is that which shall be. So yeah, you got it out.
Con. And you brought up 70 AD. I was reading a story earlier about this woman named Mary. They call her Mary of Betha Zuba. Now she was an Israelite. Now she had a lot of money, and when that famine came in 70 AD, pretty much her family was put to death, and she was left with the fortunes. And it said them in Jerusalem ran through her fortunes. The soldiers came take it, so on and so forth to use it. But what it was going, I'm gonna put the read the article, which it's in a Josephus. He wrote about it. I just went to Wikipedia just to get the story. But we ain't gonna read. I just want to mention it. But it says that she was breastfeeding. She had a young infant breastfeeding at the time, and she ain't had nothing else. It says it got so tough for her that she cut up her son. She told her son, "Look, we're in war right now. What's the point of you living?" She cut her child in half. I don't know if it was a son or daughter. Cut the child in half. Okay, it was a son. I see it say son right here. She cut the son in half, and then she started cooking the son. And then it said it smelled so bad that the soldiers came up and like demanded her, what you cooking over here? They was gonna kill her if she didn't tell him. And she showed him, look, I'm cooking half of my son. She said, y'all want some? It said the soldiers seen the scene and it was so bad they ran off, pretty much throwing up, sniffing, coughing, doing all that just to show. And she even got mad to say, look, you don't got more compassion than a mother. If you had men running away from this woman because they thought she was bugged out by how she just cooked her child and look, had another half ready for later on, she felt play, said, you ain't got more compassion than me. I'm a mother. Well, look what you did to your child, though. Look what you, and what Elder Taza Pa saying, there's many other stories other than this woman. I'm going to put it in a chat. But there's many other stories other than that woman. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get one out the scriptures real quick to back up what Elder Taza Pa said, this account in 2 Kings. Just to show this in the scriptures, man. So what Mike Adams saying, although he's speaking, but it's prophecy. The 2 Kings chapter 6 and verse 25. And if you want to chime in on the Taza Pa, you got, I'm gonna just read to the point. But 2 Kings 6 and 25, it says, and there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it. And see, even that's gonna happen. It ain't just gonna be a famine, but you gonna have the cities besieged, checkpoints, so on and so forth. So it ain't gonna be like you could just go out and venture on your own and try to find something. It says, and behold, they besieged it until an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, and the fourth part of a cab of dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver. Now they were selling an unclean animal head, a donkey head, for 80 pieces of silver, and bird poop for 5 pieces of silver. That's to tell you how desperate people gonna be. Bird poop, you can find that you should be able to find that anywhere. And why you even, but to show you how low their mind was that you even paying to eat that though. And it says, as the king of Israel was passing by upon a wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, help my lord, O king. And he said, if the Lord do not help you, then whence shall I help thee? Out of the barn floor or out of the winepress? And it's amazing how the Lord had the king pass by, because you would expect the king to have something stored up, but even he ain't have nothing stored up.
Right. Yep.
You see, he said, what I got something in a barn, he ain't got nothing either. Now check it out. It says, and the king said unto her, what aileth thee? What's your problem? And she answered, this woman said unto me, give thy son that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So we boiled my son and did eat him. And I said unto her the next day, give thy son that we may eat him. And she have hid her son. That's why she was crying and begging the king, because a complete stranger, she didn't even know this woman. If she did, I'm sure she would have said her name. Wow, this is one of my friends. A random woman came up to her and said, look, let's eat your son today. We're going to eat my son tomorrow. She was so hungry. She said, Khan. Boiled her son, went through the whole process of boiling her child, putting her child to death, eating her child with a stranger. And then the next day, the stranger, she hid her son. What son? I ain't got no son.
Right. Yep.
So now the
I
woman,
told you
she
that's
was,
Jake, man. The children of Israel. That's Jake. Always finessing, you know. But yeah,
what's son? What you talking about? But to show you how desperate, man. And now she regretted that. Damn, I ain't got my child with me. But that's the lengths people gonna go in order to survive in these latter days. The Lord about to take it down, man.
yeah.
I got one more. I seen a brother posted it in a chat. And Shalom Tala Akim Akwath Zaquanium who tuning in, Yahweh Shema Shabrak. Here it
Shalom,
is.
Makion.
Second Ezra 15. This is going into end time prophecies. Jacob's trouble. Second Ezra 15 and 58, the brother's spiritual arc. It says, they that be in the mountains. Now, why this important? Because people in the cities gonna be locked down, running from troops, concentration camps, checkpoints. A lot of people go try to flee to the mountains. You know, Edomites, these preppers. But what let's see what's one of the things that may happen to them as they try to flee. It says, they that be in the mountains shall die of hunger and eat their own flesh and drink their own blood for very hunger of bread and thirst of water. So these things are coming, man. You know, but that was pretty much it, Elder Tazapar, because Mike said a few more things, but that was the gist of it.
Yeah, Con. Shit, I ain't got nothing.
Con. Well, I put that video in the chat if you ought to check out, but it got, you know, a couple articles. Let me see. Did I put this one? It got the 2 articles we spoke about in the video in the chat. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me see. Well, let me put this thing with Mary in there too. But kind of that's it. You want to take us out or
What was that? What was that last scripture?
I'll go ahead and take us out. Kind of, but got some good precepts. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hey, with that, you know, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying, and we'll go ahead and end it right there. But once again, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem.
Yeah, I thought I saw a precept.
Hey, can you hear me? My computer keep.
Oh, okay. I hear you. I don't know.
You got it, the times apart. My computer keep.
Oh no,
Now my
I
computer
saw a
keep cutting
precept.
out. I don't know what's it's keep going.
Okay, no, we can cut it out then.
Which one you want?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, my computer keep going.
I don't know. It's all good though.
Which one?
No, I didn't catch it. I just saw a little piece of it, but we can go ahead and close that.
Con. Well, with that, you know, again, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying, and we'll end it right there. I don't know if they got me when I was saluting because they had cut out when we were saluting.
Oh, okay.
Did it cut out before we get a salute?
Not on not on my end.
Okay, Con.
I
Well,
can hear you.
once again, we'll give all praise to Yahweh, Yahushua, Bashim Chakodash. You know, Lord willing, it was edifying. And with that, Shalom.
Shalom.
Ate the water for them precepts, Akim. Shalom.